right, joining us now is Dr. John Steytler, the Director of Research at the Bank of Namibia. Dr. Steytler, thank you very much for coming through. You would have heard Yvonne Mwangu's comments as to the fact that the Southern African region, particularly the Customs Union, has a few revenue challenges of its own. The contributions have declined, and many people are saying that conserve cash, Pravin Gordon, don't make as many contributions to SACU.
Yes, we are also hearing that on this side. However, I think the situation is a bit more complex and it's not so easy. Of course, we are facing challenges, not only South Africa, but globally. I don't want to go back to the origin of where this crisis is coming from, but there's consensus that policy should be counter-cyclical at this point in time. So I think we should not only focus on the narrow problem of the immediate deficit, but for the medium term, at least counter-cyclical policies should continue. That doesn't mean we should be oblivious about the long-term challenges with regard to revenue measures. Beyond that, I also think one should not view SACU only as a revenue pool. SACU is more than a revenue pool. SACU is really one of the deepest forms of regional integration in the world, definitely in Africa. SACU is the oldest customs union, and that gives a lot of opportunities to all the members of SACU to actually position themselves better to benefit from the global trading arrangement. So I think we must look at all these factors and not only at revenue.
Okay, I love the terminology you use, benefits for other states. Many people argue that South Africa carries SACU. In fact, Davi Root used an analogy of a man who buys a car, has to put petrol in it, and then attach a trailer to carry all his cousins. The cousins drag the fuel, and he must continue moving the car forward. And in this instance, that car owner is South Africa, contributing 28 billion rands to SACU coffers at a time when every little is going to help in South Africa's infrastructure, expenditure and job creation strategy.
Well, again, I must emphasize the point that one should not only look at the immediate impact of the budget this year, but also at the long-term development perspectives of South Africa, and also where South Africa wants to see itself in terms of regional integration and also playing that leading role. Mind you, regional integration always it comes at a cost, and often the key anchor economies in the beginning, they will have to contribute relatively more to that process. We have examples from the European Union, for instance, where countries like Germany and France and relatively well-off countries, they contributed more in the beginning, but because they believed in the cause of regional integration. Now, having said that, it's not only that South Africa will contribute more, but there are also other benefits for South Africa. Also, we must also look at the customs union in perspective, and not only at this year, but over the years, South Africa has actually built up a captive market. And it's not that countries like Namibia and Botswana and Lesotho are just getting benefits, but also because of this arrangement, there are also benefits that are going to South Africa. One of the key benefits is that South African companies can have relatively some measure of economies of scale that wouldn't have been possible if it was not for the SACU arrangement. So I think we should take that into consideration. Also, the fact that countries like Botswana, Lesotho, Namibia, we import relatively more from South Africa. That's to the benefit of the South African companies. And mind you, we are doing that at actually a higher cost than what we could if we imported directly from the world market. So there's the whole issue of the price-raising effect of belonging to a customs union like the Southern African Customs Union. And all these factors should be considered in the whole debate. Again, I want to emphasize the point, we should not only focus on revenue. If we focus on revenue, we might miss the objective of regional integration. And I think there's a strong commitment among all the players in SACU that it's indeed it will indeed be beneficial for the region to promote regional integration. And SACU could actually be used as a stepping block to promote regional integration within the context of SADC.